All right, welcome back to Real Talk with Social K. You know how we do it here. No filters, no performance, just a real conversation. In the last discussion, emotional maturity, part one, why people get sharp when they're overwhelmed. I spoke about reasons people speak harshly to others. In some ways, you can adjust your behavior and tone to prevent escalation of a verbal attack. When someone talks to you sharp, it's easy to fire back. But the real strength is staying grounded when someone else is losing their footing. Their tone doesn't have to become your tone. Their anxiety doesn't have to become your energy. And you just stay calm, stay clear, and still stand your ground. So, in today's discussion, I want to talk about emotional maturity part two, how to handle a person who has a sharp tone. People don't grow from being attacked, they grow from being understood, corrected with clarity, and shown the path forward. Now, it's something I realized lately as I've been recording uh, these discussions. I know that this is not a surprise to me, really, but I hate the sound of my voice. And I never realized why my phone never rings or rarely rings from people I know because they probably feel the same way I do. You know, I meet someone and we start having, we start talking, having a conversation. Might be a great conversation, whatever, and then I might not hear from them again or as often as I'd like. And I believe it's because of my voice. I bet you that's what it is. I don't get it twisted. I got friends, but maybe I don't talk to them every day. But they probably feel the same way I do. They don't like the sound of my voice either, probably. So I have a lot of conversations with Copilot. And let me break it down in a way that Copilot and I interact. Now, I mentioned in our last discussion why telling people this sucks never helps anyone. When someone hears this sucks, a few things happen instantly. Their defenses go up, their brain treats what you just said as a threat. They stop listening, the message get lost behind the tone. Uh, they feel judged, not guided, so nothing changes. And it's not that the person can't handle honesty; it's that the honesty is delivered in a way that shuts down the part of them that can actually use it. Humans don't grow from being hit with a hammer; they grow from being handed a tool. So, what people do grow from, uh, growth comes from three things working together. What's wrong, the specific issue, not the person. Why it's wrong, the impact or consequence. How to fix it, the next step that makes improvement possible. That's the formula my AI uses with me every time we talk. Not soft, not sugar coated, just constructive. I wish more people would interact that way with each other. How this matches the way Copilot talks to me. When I write something, Copilot doesn't say, "This is trash," or this makes no sense," or "You messed up." Instead, it does what actually helps a person grow. Like it points out exactly where the issue is, it explains why it weakens the message, it shows me how to tighten it while keeping my voice, meaning my tone, intact. That's why our conversations feel calm but still honest. It's about avoiding criticism. It's about delivering criticism in a way that keeps you in your power instead of knocking you off balance. Putting someone down creates an illusion of power, but it's really insecurity in disguise, as if a person they're tearing down is more inferior to them, so they attack them harshly. You know, you'll find this happening more with women and children. Men usually fight for their right to be heard, and sometimes it results in violent shooting or something stupid like that. So uh, that's what's happening these days. Used to be you fighting with knives and sticks and stones and all of that. Now people just quick to shoot. As soon as you say something they don't like, boom, there you go, another death. Most people don't need you to be nice, they need you to be clearer. You can break it down like this: harsh criticism attacks the person. It sounds like this: "You're lazy," or "You're emotional," or you're wrong. Constructive criticism attacks the problem and it sounds more like this. This habit is slowing you down, or something like, this reaction is costing you peace, or this approach isn't getting you the results you want. And harsh criticism kind of shuts a person down, while constructive criticism wakes a person up and kind of gives them a better insight on how to resolve an issue or correct a behavioral problem. Sometimes constructive criticism gets misread as weakness. And why does constructive criticism get misread as weakness? Well, when you speak calmly and directly and respectfully to others, those insecure people often interpret it through their own lens. They think loud equals strong and calm equals soft. Man, I can't believe you let so and so talk to you like that. I would have cussed so and so out if he ever disrespect me like that. See, that's not what it's all about. They think aggression equals authority and clarity equals vulnerability. They think being harsh means you're in control and being respectful means you can be pushed. But that's not reality. That's insecurity projecting itself into the situation. I've been criticized for not responding the way people would expect me to after being spoken to in an abrasive tone. And I don't always respond with the same energy because usually I'm internalizing it and thinking of a mature approach. I don't like confrontation, but however, I do find myself there anyway at times. And most of the time, I'm just sitting back on the sidelines contemplating on how to deal with that person instead of responding right away. Sometimes, I guess people will take advantage of the opportunity to say a lot more out of the side of their neck. And if I match their energy and all of that, it's just going to be an escalated conflict. And I don't need that. But I believe you don't have to respond to everything. Sometimes it's best to let things go. Just have an understanding that who you're dealing with has a bigger issue that's out of your control. And you could choose to cut them out of your life, even out of your social circle. I always say in order to get along with people, you have to be respectful to others, at least until they become disrespectful to you. You choose how to interact. The mature way would be to cut them off if they continue their behavior. You cannot argue with stupidity and expect to have a positive outcome. Anyway, that's what I want to share with you today. If this hits you, sit with it for a minute, let it breathe, let it settle. And when you're ready, take that next step, whatever it is for you. Now smash that like button if you like what you hear. Leave a comment below. Stay tuned for the next part of this discussion, Emotional Maturity, Part 3. The habit of fault finding and the path back to maturity. This is Real Talk with Social K. I appreciate you for listening and stay grounded, stay honest, stay real, and I'm out.